Previously, the Hong Kong Education Bureau proposed a curriculum outline for the citizenship, economics and society from secondary 1 to 3, which included sex education. The most discussed part was teaching methods to suppress sexual urges, with a curriculum guideline giving an example of inviting the other party to play badminton. This joke was reported by many foreign media outlets, unexpectedly allowing Hong Kong to contribute laughter to the world through this approach. Suggestions like diverting attention by playing badminton or having students sign commitment letters are just guidelines from the Education Bureau. Citizens can judge for themselves how much of this is substantive versus filler material. This video aims to discuss whether curbing sexual fantasies and sexual urges as suggested by the Education Bureau is reasonable. A key teaching point of the above materials was guiding students to understand the elements of intimate relationships, emphasizing that sex alone cannot achieve intimacy, encouraging setting boundaries with partners, and suppressing sexual fantasies and urges, advising teenagers to understand intimate relationships, think carefully, and take responsibility for their actions is appropriate. Many criticize the outdated materials, with even some Legislative Council members doubting if they are keeping up with the times after the improved electoral system. However, the issue is not whether the content is outdated, but that the advocated concepts deviate from reality. The materials discuss not engaging in sexual relations too early, then suggest suppressing sexual fantasies and urges, leading to various subsequent recommendations. This premise is one-sided, grasping only a small part of the real situation while ignoring a significant portion. Prohibiting sexual fantasies is thought control, which any rational person would know is unreasonable and impractical, though some may still insist on it. So they require schools to insert special segments into important ceremonies and weekly assemblies. Defining sexual desire as sexual urges also demonstrates a short-sighted view, missing the forest for the trees. Some psychologists like Freud and Carl Jung have explored the concept of sexual urges with associated theories, which need to be understood within the proposed context. In everyday language, sexual urges can be taken literally as someone suddenly desiring sexual gratification, where if not immediately satisfied, the desire may subside. It is described as an urge to emphasize its emotional nature rather than an objective need. The person may not actually require gratification, but suddenly feels a need to satisfy. Sexual desire is different. In Chinese civilization, desires are often seen as neutral, neither indulging or prohibiting them, but appropriately resolving them. The Chinese have coexisted with desires for thousands of years. What is sexual desire? Like other survival instincts, it is a mechanism driving the survival of a species. Hunger signals the body's need for energy and nutrition. Sleepiness signals the need to rest. Sex differs slightly in that not immediately gratifying, it does not threaten life like hunger or fatigue. But for the human species, it is similar. If one person does not eat, he dies, ending his ability to reproduce the human species. If one does not mate, he does not die, but his reproductive ability also ends, representing the same loss of future life for humans. Thus, from the perspective of human natural development, sexual gratification is as important as eating, sleeping, and feeling safe. Of course, humans do not only live for survival mechanisms. There is also civilization. People would not simply respond to sexual urges anytime, anywhere for the sake of reproduction. Moderating desires aims to avoid being overly driven by physical needs. Having reasonable, healthy desire fulfillment can lead to a rational, healthy life. Seeking gratification regardless of context is called an urge. For example, urban people plagued by work, living environments, and relationships may crave high-fat, high-calorie, high-sugar foods, even after regular meals, seeking sweets, fried foods, and various drinks. This is an urge. Proper eating is not an urge. Craving food after a meal is called mouth hunger. Desiring food without having a regular meal is normal, at most called unable to tolerate hunger. But after not eating for 3 days, desiring to satisfy hunger cannot be called mouth hunger or an urge. Similarly, as teenagers develop with maturing sexual functions and mindsets into adulthood, meaning reproductive ability, being in heat on September the 1st may be an urge, but if it continues on the 2nd, the 3rd, and for multiple days, it cannot be simply dismissed as an urge. Nutritionists teach replacing high salt, sugar, fat foods with healthy options when cravings arise, not just accusing the public of indulging in comfort foods out of urges. Not understanding sexual needs and misinterpreting the body's repeated signals, while simply suppressing them, will lead to future random and uncontrollable development. Freud proposed that during different growth stages, there is a heightened focus on the pleasure from certain organs, the anal, oral, and genital stages. In the genital stage, one may enjoy touching or stimulating the genitals for satisfaction. Overindulging or suppressing this mentality can lead to future distortions around sexual desire, possibly seeing sex as shameful or excessively pursuing sexual gratification. It's unpredictable which situation overindulgence or suppression may lead to. The psychological field later heavily criticized Freud, so his theories may not fully apply. However, it's worth considering whether inappropriately suppressing sexual desire could lead to adolescents to develop distorted understandings or even impair their mental capacities and self-control. In recent years, the Chinese central government has condemned the lying flat attitude of not striving for progress, which hinders societal development. One manifestation of lying flat is not reproducing. Having excessively suppressed the natural development stage, it is unrealistic to then expect it to function normally later. As the nation develops, Hong Kong as a small special region is not only failing to contribute to cultivating a societal cattle, human or labor force, but is outright labeling normal sexual desires in youth as impulsive follies. Isn't this like the leftist North American societies they constantly mock, telling students they are neither male nor female? Please comment if you have any ideas. You may also like, subscribe or share this video. Your action can spread the message. See you on the next video.